Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports for this live stream. And obviously, we are here to talk about India versus England. The match will start from tomorrow. That's the first test match to be played between these two teams in Hyderabad. And obviously, the eyes are on the series because there's a lot of hue and cry outside the realm of cricket already with the visa issues with Shoaib Bashir, which was not granted, the pitch, and everything surrounding it, and Bazball, whether or not it can succeed. We already made a video on whether or not Bazball can succeed. You can check it out on our channel. But before we get into this live, do not forget to check out Mad About Sports course on cricket analytics. If you are into numbers, if you want to make a career by calling shots in your favorite team's dressing room, this is your opportunity. Check out our cricket analytics workshop, which we run. You don't need to have any prior knowledge of analytics or any numbers. Just come in with a free mind, and maybe this could be a stepping stone into the long future. The link is down in the description. But yeah, let's get into today's live stream. As it's a big eve of a game because of what we have. If you look at one end of the spectrum, Virat Kohli is not going to be playing for the first two test matches, as he's already cited. It's due to personal reasons. On the other end of the spectrum, it is Harry Brook, who has pulled out of the series because of personal reasons as well. So two major players who won't be featured, but for India, it's going to be even more because Virat Kohli is someone of the stage of Virat Kohli not playing in such a high-profile series. Is obviously a big blow for the first couple of games at least. But let's look into this test match right now. India have been very clear with the approach they want to take. Going into the test match, they are very clear that they want to provide turning wickets. There is no two ways about it that they want to look beyond it. And turning wickets will be something which you should expect as well as we go ahead in the series. Obviously, we have Antariksh joining us. Welcome, Antariksh, on the show. Hope you're doing good. We were just talking about how it's such a high-profile series and Virat Kohli is missing out for the first couple of matches. And obviously, it's a bigger blow than Harry Brook missing out because of the stage that Virat Kohli is. But let's get into the series, right? What do you make of the series? What is your opinion? Do you reckon this could be one of the most competitive test matches in a long time of India versus England in India, or is it going to be like India running through them once again?
Hi, Bill. So I think it's going to be a tricky one. See, I think a lot of times there aren't many options on the conventional Indian pitches that are played
Yeah,
around, so you can't defend. You can't keep defending.
yeah,
You have to sort of play a version of Bazball, right? Like any
yeah,
team. Like we've seen South Africa struggle a lot in India. We've seen England struggle a lot. Australia sometimes
yeah,
giving us a fight back, but then also struggling in the long run. So they kind of have to play a version of Bazball here if we have those Nagpur
yeah,
dead turning pitches, right?
hmm,
Then it's going to be interesting to see as to how they adapt to it.
yeah,
Now the main point here is that would they want to play shots that they normally play, which is like a lot of slogging, right, against the turn. That'll mean a lot playing a lot against the turn, not a lot with a straight bat, because that's been the case with Bazball, and that has been one of the complaints that we've discussed here as well. So, I
yeah,
mean, I can't say enough right now because I also believe that Bazball is the way, at least on Indian pitches, and I don't mean Bazball just the England Bazball. I just mean just being aggressive because
mm.
there just will be a ball that will the Ashwin's ball, that will probably have your name on it because it's just the way it is in India. So it's going to be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one interesting thing that you mentioned is the way of baseball because if the pitch is going to turn, you know that you're not going to survive for it any longer. You're going to have one name on one of the balls where you're going to get out. So England have
Yeah.
also come out with that mindset saying that, might as well we score 300 runs on a good turning deck before we get maybe all out on that particular day. If you score 300 on a turning deck, that's fantastic score. Let's be honest. 300 deck on a good turning wicket, you can have the first innings dominance and you can put pressure on the opposition. But let's come into this particular point, right? If India are going to provide turning pitches, India have also fallen to turn in the recent past. Like whenever
Yeah.
a good spinner has come to India, let it be Todd Murphy last year or even Nathan Lyon for that series against Australia. India have struggled, and 2012 for that matter, everybody will remember the only team to defeat India in India for the last one decade or 1.5 decade. It's been England. Monty Panis
England.
and Greenspan had a ball for time coming to India, on turning wickets. They absolutely love dominating India there. But here, once again, it's Rihan Ahmed, Tom Hartley, and Jack Leach. Obviously, Jack Leach just played in India once, but other two are very inexperienced. How do you see this? India will be confident enough to put turning wicket because they'll know that the spinners from the opposition end are inexperienced.
Yeah, is Rihan Ahmed the same guy who's from Pakistan, like
Yeah,
originally?
yeah, he's an ex-spinner who played, if I remember, in Pakistan as well. He was in under
Yeah,
19 World Cup team. But there's another guy, Shoaib Bashir, who has been not allowed to come to
yeah.
India. He's a 6 foot 4 inch off spinner, but this guy's a leggy.
Right, right. Oh, okay. So I might have mixed the two because I was really looking forward to that guy exactly because of the trade that you mentioned that he's 6'4". So I was just looking because we
Yeah,
don't see a lot of over grip, overturn, and
yeah,
there's a lot of undercutting on the Indian pitches, right? Even
yeah,
the likes of Ashwin don't give it much flight, like because the unpredictability of whether the ball keeps straight or not. That's why we saw
yeah,
Todd Murphy. I
yeah,
mean, he wasn't the biggest spinner of the ball, but anyways, I mean a leggy to play in India. Again, we haven't seen many leg spinners, dominate as much as off spinners have in India. So that's going to be
yeah,
interesting, but it's an option that England would really love to have. So I mean, see, the sight is clear from England, and they must have seen the pitch. They must have expected everything. But I don't know this logic. Maybe you can tell me more about it. Like, why do these guys announce the team one day before? Because all it takes is one roller, right? One
yeah,
roller, some sprinkle on the pitch right now to maybe change things just a bit. Because now you've just
yeah,
given away that you are playing with just that one pacer. Of course, Ben
yeah.
Stokes can chip in as well. But
I don't think Ben Stokes is balling in this Test series at all. I don't
yeah,
see
so
him.
like, do you know the logic behind just announcing? Like, does it spell
I
confidence or
think
what?
it has to do a lot with you being confident, just to send out a
Okay.
message that okay, we are confident with our 11, whereas the opposition is not. It's just a mind game, in my opinion. And to be assured of this is 11 which is going to step out of the park, there's also clarity among players that you don't have to wait till the morning to know your 11, right? Now, obviously, a lot of players will be having jitters. Okay, are we going to play? Are we not going to play? It's a combination of all what I believe. I remember under Virat Kohli's reign, we should do this as well. Indian team we should do this quite
Yeah,
often.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, this was also criticized. I remember WTC final where we made this mistake of announcing the 11, but the pitch and the conditions turned overnight, and where we couldn't play the extra spinner because we had already announced. But we still have an option to change the team. But
Yeah,
it's kind of unfair, right? All of a sudden, when you
yeah,
change that, it doesn't really sit well on
yeah,
the player for that matter. Let it leave well on
yeah,
the
yeah,
broad. No, for us, it's fine. But for the player mentally, he's all ready to play a match, and next day morning, you're like, you're not playing because conditions
yeah,
have changed. As long as you don't have substitutes in cricket, I think that is a gray area. If teams want to do it, a lot of teams are doing it these days, but I still believe it's good to announce it on that particular moment because
yeah, yeah,
it helps you. You can keep your cards within yourself. You can unleash someone at the last moment. That's going to be pretty interesting. That's what India did uh, quite a long while ago with Kuldeep Yadav because there was a lot of
yeah,
anticipation. This guy came a wild card, ran through Australia. So,
yeah.
yeah, these things really matter, in my opinion. But I want to ask you this question as well. Now that England's 11 is out there, you mentioned one pacer. What do you think about that? Are they so
Yeah.
confident that only one pacer is needed in this wicket and you're going to have a spinner opening the bowling regardless?
To be honest, with the experience that they have of spinners, which was very less, I would have not gone with three spinners if I were the England, or whatever, like the one who chooses it. I don't know, coach or
Yeah,
something. But because like we've seen Joe Root, like the way he can chip, and especially on Indian wickets, right? So he's an
yeah,
option as well. So he becomes my like 2.5th spinner, right? And
yeah,
then it's not like you have something like Ashwin, Aksar, and Jadeja
yeah,
level of experience,
yeah,
right? At least on Indian pitches. So you've Rehan Ahmed, Tom Hartley. You had the other lad, the 6'4" lad, right? So three very very young spinners, and Jack Leach too. To be honest, right? Like okay, it's been some years, but like he's played in India once, as you just told, right? So
yeah,
he's not like very much involved in the IPL and stuff, not in the short
yeah,
format much. So he just has that one experience. So I would have really gone with another pacer maybe. But having said that, um, the pacer that they actually have now, it obviously depends on the day and the lengths that he hits. But I think he's the kind of pacer that really would work. Like Indian pitchers sometimes are just dead for pacers, right? like,
yeah,
like they're just dead. But he is one who can spring life into any pitch in the
yeah.
world, right?
Correct,
And if
correct.
he gets that old ball, 40, 50 overs old, if teams survive that
Yeah.
much, 30, 40 even, and if there's
Mm,
that one rough side, they've done a good job of shining the
mm,
other. He
yeah,
could be someone who could sort of give us that Jimmy Anderson 2000 what 12 you said the
yeah,
series.
Yeah.
with that reverse swing and at that vicious pace, it could be something to deal with. And I'd actually love to see because I
I think
remember
he's
Mohammad
gonna trouble
Shami.
the likes of someone like a Shreyas Iyer for that matter. Guys
Mm,
who have issues against
mm.
short ball. It's not gonna be easy
Yeah.
at all for those guys.
Yeah, as I was saying, like I'd really also love to see like that reverse swing thing come back because I remember the last time we properly saw it was Shami's debut match,
Yeah, yeah,
debut
yeah,
series
yeah,
against
yeah.
West Indies, right? He was
Yeah,
just he
he's
was just
amazing.
playing cricket seven, right?
You're
It
right.
felt like he was just swinging the ball in
I
and
think
stuff.
Umesh Yadav used to do it quite a lot in India,
Oh yeah,
especially those drier surfaces.
yeah,
Umesh Yadav spells used to really turn games on its head. I mean, we give credit to Ashwin and Jadeja for running through batting attacks, but I think our Indian pieces need equal amount of credit for it. But let's go to India's squad now. It's about time we talk about the home team. Uh,
yeah,
it's obviously when a series starts in India, we don't often talk about India because people foresee the result quite often. But
yeah.
I don't want to do that. Virat Kohli is obviously not there. It's Rajat Patidar who's been added into the squad. So there's also confirmation from Rahul Dravid that KL Rahul will not be playing as a wicket keeper. It's going to be someone else. It's going to be either between Dhruv Jurel or KS Bharat. How do you see this team? Obviously, Rohit Sharma is going to open with Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill at three. Now, number four, do you see a KL Rahul taking that position number four, then Shreyas Iyer at five, and then KS Bharat at six and Jadeja at seven? How do you see that combination to be going?
Yeah, I probably see it the exact way, especially after the departure of Virat Kohli, at least for the first two Test matches. And it's also a good thing that the squad as a whole is just for two matches, right? And I'm just a bit disappointed, right? I don't know what's the injury status of Mohammad Shami and stuff. I just think you know what, one, he's just getting off because he's having two, three hair transplants. And another one is that I don't know, maybe he's just
I think
wanting
his
to be.
injury is quite bad because what I heard from reports is that, and from his own interview, he played the entire World Cup with an injury. He performed exceedingly well with an injury, and he used to take injections before every game. He played that World Cup, same as what he did in 2015. He had to repeat the same in 2023 as well. He bowled well, and then post that, it was the ankle was not getting any better, so he had to undergo surgery, in my opinion. And now he's rehabilitating. He should be back by a third Test match, if I'm not wrong. So both Virat Kohli and Mohammad Shami is expected to be back by third Test match.
Hopefully he is, because like I wouldn't really like it, right? If he misses all five and then he's fit, fresh as a daisy when the IPL starts. I don't really like that approach, right? We've discussed this here, and obviously he wants to maybe make it to the T20 World Cup as well. So he'd be really looking forward to that IPL. But I just hope that he's back because that pace attack doesn't really, you know, excite
But
me
how
as
many of
much.
them are they going to play? I believe a couple of them will play. That is Siraj and
Exactly.
Bumrah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I was just going to say that, right? That although I think only two of them are going to play, but still having Avesh Khan and Mukesh Kumar, yeah, I wouldn't play them any which way. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think it's going to be Jadeja, Aksar, and Ashwin are going to be the trio of spinners that we're going to go with.
How do you see a wild card in Kuldeep Yadav? Because you mentioned Akshar Patel, and Akshar Patel's record against England is phenomenal. I mean, they dread hearing his name on turning wickets. Last time around, that's what happened. But maybe England are prepared for Akshar. But isn't that where you want to throw in someone like a Kuldeep Yadav who can be that X factor? You have a Jadeja who's very similar profile like Akshar Patel here. So with that regard, you can bring in a Kuldeep Yadav to mix things a little bit, and obviously batting slightly becomes weakened because with Akshar, that batting is elongated. You can get out of a trouble when you lose 5 or 6 wickets on a bad session. So that's what you get with Akshar, and obviously on a turning wicket, Akshar can run through any attack in a session as well.
See, to be honest, I would. I don't know whether because with Akshar Patel, as we've discussed many times, he could win ICC like all rounder of the year. He won't get in front of Ashwin and Jadeja in any format, and that's a sad reality. But to be honest, looking at him, right, he single-handedly won us Test matches, not just with the ball, with the bat as well,
Yeah,
right? So,
let's not
so
forget the Australia series, especially.
exactly, right? So I just believe, especially in India, I just have this thing in my mind, right? We have the perfect team, the perfect test team to beat any team in India because we have these spinners. Ek to their spinners. Uske baad, all of them can bat as well. So
Yeah,
it's almost the same script. It's like 80 for 4, 80 for 5, and then these three guys somehow pile up 100 runs
yeah,
together,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's 220, 240, and then we bundle out the opposition by 100, 120. So it's like the same old script. So I wouldn't actually touch it. If anything, I would give it a couple of test matches and then maybe look out. And as I said, because I don't remember the last time a leg spinner has caused havoc as much as off spinners do. Because it's
Yeah,
just the thing, right? Leg spinners have got less to do with the pitch, because leg spin is an art that actually gets turned anywhere, right? Like
yeah,
it's not like it's easy to get turned. It's just
yeah,
the wrist, and it's got lesser to do with the wicket is
yeah. Correct,
what I
correct.
think.
You're right.
But with off spin, the big thing is that when the ball is turning, the more dangerous ball is the one which doesn't turn. So it's
Exactly.
like it just
Yeah,
it just opens up floodgates of any ball that could take any
yeah.
batsman's wicket,
I think if you
like
look at
any ball.
Akshar Patel's wickets, which he had gotten in 2021 series, especially, most
Straight
of the
balls.
dismissals were the balls which kept straight. You remember
Yeah,
Johnny Bairstow really struggling there, and for that
exactly.
matter, likes of Zach Crawley, everybody were pulled out the balls which are keeping straight. You know that Ahmedabad wicket is what I'm talking about, where the ping ball match got over in 1.5 days, where England had no idea what Akshar Patel was bowling. And I think that
Right.
has to do a lot with when the ball is turning, and if you're quicker through the air, which Jadeja and Akshar are, it's so much more hard to use your feet. Whereas for Kuldeep Yadav, for matter, you can still use your feet a little bit. I mean, you can
Yeah.
counter it, you can smother the turn, you can play around. But for someone like an Akshar Patel, it becomes extremely hard, and he can turn the ball. If one gets to turn, then it's behind your mind. Okay, one ball turn. Now,
Exactly.
what do I play? Do I play for the turn, or do I play for straight one? So that's an
Exactly.
interesting one. But that's where I think we'll talk about matchups now, because very
Hmm.
interestingly, we have to talk about this particular matchup. Bumrah versus Joe
Hmm.
Root is a very
Yeah.
interesting one, because we often talk about spinners, but our spacers have caused havoc for oppositions in the recent past. And someone of a caliber, Bumrah and Siraj, being in our team, and with reverse swing also, which might come in an aggressive surface like Hyderabad, I personally think it's going to be interesting to watch these spacers operate tomorrow, because it's not going to be easy to play Bazball against these two, because they both will seek that as an opportunity, because they know, let's hit the pacers out. That's where our major chunk of the runs come. But then, let's be honest, the quality which Bumrah and Siraj are, that's an opportunity for them to really strike front.
Yeah. Exactly. Any team trying to score and coming with a mindset of targeting particular bowlers actually becomes a tactic for the bowler as well to maybe nick in some wickets. So you're absolutely right there. And I think, as you said, right, in the recent past, we have also seen our pacers do. I mean, it's only the batting that has really disappointed us over the past 2.5 years. When we talk about Test cricket, in fact, 4 years, I'd say that, right? So the pace bowlers have stepped up. Overseas, we've all seen that, right? Grade A bowlers, grade B. I mean, bowlers as well. But yeah, these two have hit the deck, and that's the best thing about them, right? The thing is, if the ball stops swinging, which it does in India, you want someone who can hit the deck hard. And I think all the three bowlers have the capability of doing that. Like, I'm including Shami here, but then Shami also has the ability of presenting the seam, which he does ever so well. But
Yeah,
these two primarily operate on hitting the deck hard, which is good, at least on Indian pitches that don't provide much after 10, 15 overs for pacers.
absolutely.
So it's going to be very important to see as to how these guys deal with it. And I mean, we can't say, right? If I look at it from a psychological point of view, Abel, I would just think that after the test match that we just played in South Africa, I think I'm just thinking out loud here that I think the mindset of the camp right now would be that they can't question us on pitches now. So let us make the dirtiest pitch possible, or at least like borderline dirty that just passes the ICC grade somehow.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's just maybe that's just my psychology, because surely no one can ever tell us now that you know what, you just finished the game in 2 days, because it's actually a record now. I think, right? It's the record shortest game which we just
Yeah.
participated in against
I
South
think
Africa.
if anywhere that record can be broken, that's in India,
It's India.
obviously,
Yeah,
because of
for
the kind of pitches we provide for visiting teams. And I think
sure.
England are mentally prepared for it. They can't sit here and start cribbing about the pitches anymore, because I understand nowadays in England you're getting flatter surface. That's also to suit their kind of batting. Now, I personally think this is the first major challenge for Bazball. Now, you've seen Bazball succeed so far, but have they succeeded overseas in a tough condition like this? For me, this is what's going to really decide whether
Yeah.
Bazball is a sustainable approach in tougher conditions, or is this what the modern day game demands? We have a
Mm.
question here. Okay, we have a question from Bunny Thinks. Hi guys, what do you think about uh, England to go with one full time? Yeah, we did discuss about it. What do you think, Antariksh, last one time as well? What do you think about Mark Wood being the only pacer, as you mentioned earlier? Do you think
Yeah.
James Anderson should have been considered? just ahead of Tom Hartley because of what James Anderson can bring as the control, right? And he's exponentially good with the reverse swing.
Yeah, bunny things. I just discussed that just briefly. That just considering like not the lineup, which is three spinners and one fast bowler. I would rather focus on the quality that they had, and I don't think they had the best in terms of experience. They might prove out to be great young lads, but having Rehan Ahmed, Tom Hartley in the same lineup, and when you have a James Anderson who has proven his pedigree, like he doesn't need to anymore. But like I'm just talking about India, right? And he's someone who has that control. And you could have maybe gone with that. And it's not like 10 years ago when he wreaked havoc, he was clocking 140. James Anderson has always been around this pace mark. It's about the control. It's
Yeah.
about the science that he knows about the red ball, right? So I just think I would have gone with that. Had they, had they had someone like, like a lineup of spinners like we do, then maybe I would have gone with three spinners. But having very, very young, inexperienced spinners right into the mix in India, that could prove a bit risky.
Yeah, you're right. You're spot on in saying that. I think if you look at the 11 as well as Antariksh rightly mentioned, two of them are very inexperienced, Rihan Ahmed and someone like someone of this caliber of Tom Hartley, and I think it's going to be a major test for them. And India is not easy. You can say turning wickets, but you need to know how to ball on turning wickets. It's an art in itself. Now we talk about space assisted wickets overseas, and you see Asian spacers who go out there and struggle because they get overhauled by the whole pace assistance and they do not know which length to hit. So hitting the right length is so important, and being consistent in it is so much more important because it's a combination of sustained pressure which gets you wickets in India, and you have to be extremely clever with that. And just don't ball and get wickets. That's not the way. If you look at Ashwin and Jadeja, they ball in tandem so well. Let's look at the pitch for that matter, Antariksh. I mean, the pitch looks. There is Dinesh Karthik who's helping the England team out, and I think he's the best you can get out there when it comes to reading pitches. How do you see the pitch? I mean, it looks a little dry on the other side, and it looks like it'll turn from the first session, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, it's the classic Indian pitch that we see now. What I would really hope is right that we've seen a couple of times we have these. I don't know, maybe it's out of the international pressure that we're getting because of pitches. We sometimes get these flat tracks, like very flat tracks, like unplayable for the bowlers, kind of flat tracks. And I hope it's
Yes.
not one of them because they disguise themselves as a spin friendly pitcher sometimes. So I really hope it's not that. I wouldn't mind a pitch that just starts spinning from the first session. I love that. I love test matches in India. I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of test matches in general, but I really love test
Yeah,
matches in India.
I'm quite pumped for the series for that matter
Exactly.
because for a long time, a lot of overseas teams come. We knew the result before the first ball was ball. Let's be honest. But
Yeah.
this time, there's a bit of a question mark as to whether England can succeed as well. I mean,
Yeah.
just primarily on the way in which they played their cricket, right? I mean, if you look at
Yeah.
the records, what they have held in the recent past, it's phenomenal. Under Bazball, they've been the most successful Test team in the world since Brendan McCullum has taken over. If you look at the win percentage, India's got 50, Australia have 62, but England have 72% of wins. And majority of them have come away from home. But let's not discount it. Under Bazball era, they've been extremely good in terms of the way in which they played their cricket. They've had good amount of series which they won. Pakistan was never an easy challenge. They went on whitewashed them there. And West Indies was the only series. That was the first series he took part. Then drawing in New Zealand, that also they lost by 1 run in the last day. I think they've had a decent time under Brendan McCullum, and we have to give him credit for that.
Absolutely. No, no, absolutely. There are no two ways about it. Now, I think the main challenge for them was the Ashes, which we saw what happened. And then it was also Pakistan. But we also need to note that Pakistan has had a very big drop in spinners, in the quality of spinners, but a very big sort of comeback in terms of the pacers that they have. But the subcontinent conditions do favor the
I
spinners.
think Pakistan dug their own grave, in my opinion. If you saw those test matches, what happened was they played, what they provided was flat surfaces, played into Bazball's hands. I mean, played into England's hands. And what they ended up doing was England ended up scoring 500 runs on day one. Now, what do you do from that?
Exactly, exactly. So because they themselves were like, had they been confident about their spinners, they would have just made the perfect subcontinental pitch, and then we would have seen the script from there. Maybe England could have still done well, but my point is that they weren't, very confident in
Yeah,
their spinners in the first place. But
absolutely.
you know what, like I hear your point about maybe there being a question mark here and there, but I just, I'm just, my appetite is just going up. I sense, I, you know, maybe call me a madman, but I could, if I had like 100 pounds to bet, I could maybe bet 20 pounds on, you know, this being a whitewash, or at least this being a series where England wins none of the matches. So I actually see that happening. I don't know. I just,
Yeah, I have a feeling because of that approach, particularly, it's going to be result oriented for sure.
oh, for
Either they're
sure.
going to go down fighting, it's going to be some exciting test matches where you're going to see 140, 150. I only worry is the bowling, right? Batting, I think they're going to do well, decently well than what I expected. If they don't step up in bowling, I think it's going to be a whitewash as well. But I'm still expecting 4-0 India.
It's a
One of the
five
matches
match
could have some
series.
issue.
This is the beauty of I really like this India Australia India England stuff also because of this, because 5 matches are a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's not like 3 matches. 3 matches you
Yeah.
just don't realize it's gone.
No, it's not like the
Five
two
is
matches we had last month, right, against South Africa, which was
exactly.
nonsense.
Exactly. 5 matches is like seasons of the year, right? We
Yeah.
like first three matches are a different season, then the last
Uh,
two are a different. We can actually
uh,
many times we've seen players evolve during a 5 match series, right? They've had a poor
right.
start and then they just
Yeah.
finish up very well. I'm really
Yeah.
excited, and this World Test Championship this could be one of the major points, right? We need to get big chunks out of this. I think this win percentage that you showed, I think will be going upwards now, and I think England would be coming down.
Yeah.
For sure, they're not
Yeah.
winning 2 games. For sure,
100.
they're not winning 2 games. They're winning max one.
One game, I'm expecting on a rank turner. We hit ourselves on our foot, and
See,
someone just runs through.
दो तो rank turners होंगे ही for sure. And if we lose any one of them, like that's a disgrace.
I'm actually excited for the game in Dharamshala. I think that's their best bet to win a match because if
Yeah.
the ball is going to swing around a little bit, I think they're going to play Jimmy Anderson, however it's going to go. But that's their best bet, in my opinion. Dharamshala is the
Mm,
only game where I think England will have a genuinely good chance. Other than that, I don't really see it
yeah.
otherwise. And that's
Yeah.
about it from us. Thank you, Antariksh, for joining us and talking about this game extensively. We'll be back through the course of this match and through the course of the series here on Mad About Sports. Let's hope India has a great start tomorrow on day one, and we'll be here with some happy faces. Thank you, Antariksh, once again. And guys, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also check out our course with Mad About Sports. That's a cricket analytics workshop which we are running right now. If you are into numbers, if you want to make a career out of it by working for your favorite sporting team, this is your opportunity. So do not miss out. The link is down in the description, and have a wonderful time checking out and studying our course. Bye bye, and see you all very soon. Bye bye.